That quote really speaks to me. Flying in these mountains, it's not uncommon to see density altitudes over 16,000 feet. It's not uncommon to deal with random thunderstorms and violent winds. There's no doubt it's dangerous, and that danger can at times be masked by the beauty you're experiencing. It's important to stay focused, not let your mind wander too much into the realm of just enjoying what you're experiencing, but to also be prepared as possible for whatever unforeseen challenges lie in wait. This was a pretty long day adventuring in the mountains, and I'd like to take you along and show you some of the things I experienced. It was a good day of a variety of things, including finding a new camping spot. I found some hidden beauty that I doubt very few people have ever seen. Flew over a historic site that has a very disturbing and violent history that I'll tell you guys about. And ultimately ended up on top of this ridge top with a beautiful backdrop in the evening. Got some great pictures. Just an excellent way to end the day. So I'm always looking for new camp spots when I'm out here flying around, and after I stopped at this one here that wasn't too bad, I ended up finding another spot, landing up on this pretty good ridge, and then from there realized that there was even a better spot right next to it that I hadn't seen. So I'd landed up on this plateau first and then walked down into this valley and realized that, wow, this valley is really cool, and actually there is a decent LZ down there. So I took off here and actually checked the landing spot, and it's pretty good. I'll show you that, and then I'll show you what it was like from the ground. There's a bunch of trash I picked up out here in the field, and come on, people, clean up your shit. I love firearms. I've got many of them, but at least clean up the trash that you're shooting with them. Jeez. So I don't have any bags with me, so I'm not going to haul this out today. I'm going to pile it up in one of these buckets, leave it over there by the little campsite, and then if we come back here and actually camp, let me tell you guys what I'm looking for here. I'm looking at spots like this. See, there's a little dirt road back here. This spot my buddies that don't fly could drive to, and I could meet them with the airplane, and it'd just be a fun get together. And so if I come back here and camp with those guys, then we'll be able to haul this stuff out real easy. I need to bring some bags with me and kind of do the whole heavier out thing, because that's a good thing to do. And the more we do things like that, people with aircraft, the better we'll be looked upon. It's already hard to get access and be allowed to land a lot of places with airplanes, so I think that would be a positive thing. But anyway, I'll pile it up so at least it's not scattered all over the field, and then maybe we'll haul it out if we come back here. So I was working my way back towards town of Del Norte to get fuel. I was somewhere south of the Rio Grande Reservoir. There was some weather in the area that pushed me further south than I normally would go, kind of down towards Pagosa Springs almost. And I'm working my way around through some area I've never been before, some pretty inaccessible terrain. I don't see any roads or trails back here. And I'm climbing up this valley, and when I come over the top, over the other side, I am greeted by like 3 beautiful waterfalls on the backside of this mountain. Really, it was spectacular to see. Just absolutely beautiful. Just hidden out there. Makes you wonder how many people have actually seen these when they are there, when the snow's melting off. But absolutely beautiful. All right, so next up is the place here with a dark history, and this is actually known as Cannibal Plateau. Well, actually, this is not Cannibal Plateau. This is actually Calf Creek Plateau. Calf Creek Plateau is right next to Cannibal Plateau, but I just like this spot with the Powderhorn Lakes down here in between where the plateau wraps around it. Really beautiful. Hasn't thawed out yet, completely, and hasn't turned green yet, but it's still a really, really pretty place up here at about, these plateaus are 12,500 feet. But let me get to Cannibal Plateau, because that's where the interesting history is. In 1874, a guy named Alfred Packer was leading a group of people. They were headed up to Breckenridge to try to make it big and, finding gold. And he claimed to be this expedition guide, wilderness guide, and he could take everybody through the mountains during the winter, which of course was a horrible idea. And the story is very complex. I'm not going to tell it all here, but the bottom line is, at one point, him and 5 other guys ended up in this area, the area of Cannibal Plateau here outside of Lake City, and only he came back out, and he ended up eating the other guys. And there's a lot of the story was never 100% clear, but if you read through, and I spent like an hour reading about this the other night, it basically sounds like he probably killed them, possibly just to rob them, because he wasn't a very good guide. He didn't have any money. He was pretty desperate. So he may have actually killed them to rob them, and then because he got stuck in a blizzard and it was the heart of winter and it's extremely cold and there wasn't much to eat up there, that he actually ended up eating them. It's hard to really say. It's worth reading, you guys. It's very intriguing. I'll put some links in the description if you want to read further, because it's just an absolutely bizarre, crazy story. But this is the area where that happened. So I'm working my way home. It's the evening. It's my favorite time to fly. The wind's starting to lay over. It's smoothing out. The air's getting better. And I come back across the Sangre de Cristos, and I just, for some unexplainable reason, decide to turn right and head a little south. And I start seeing some really pretty ridges. Everything's super green right now, and there's just a really nice view of the mountains down there to the south. There's kind of a almost like a half circle of peaks in this section of the Sangre de Cristos, and it's a beautiful view with everything being so green, but yet the peaks still have snow on them. So anyway, I fire up my app and I start looking, and sure enough, there's a couple of small pieces of BLM scattered around on these ridges. And I think, I've got enough time. I need to land there and try to get a shot of these mountains. So I'm going to show you a little bit of footage from actually 2 different days, because I did land and get a shot, which I'll show you, but I missed the good lighting on the peaks. The sun had already started to set behind the mountain range. So I went back a couple days later. It was actually raining. Still wasn't the shot I intended to get, but it ended up being pretty good as well, because there was a big storm rolling in over those mountains, and it was raining on me pretty good when I got the pictures. I actually found a spot that was a little bit closer as well, and got a pretty good shot of those mountains. The mountains were pretty moody with that weather coming in, so it made for a pretty dramatic picture. The view back here, man, that's unbelievable. So I had to land downhill because of the wind, and it was a little bit exciting. If the wind was playing different, these spots would be pretty easy, but look at that view back there. Alright, just a quick little bonus section here at the end. I think this was the following weekend after everything else you just saw. And I ended up playing around, found this spot kind of in between Salida and Monarch Pass, around 10,000 feet. There's a big old chunk of BLM up there with some big ridges. Kind of look like big fingers coming off into the valley. It took a little bit to find a spot, but I eventually did. Pretty nice spot, in fact. Set it down there. Got some good pictures. Show you one of those. It was nice. Got some drone footage that wasn't too bad. Then these folks showed up in a Jeep. Some really nice people came up there. They were, you could say they were quite surprised to see an airplane sitting up there on top of that mountain. So we had a nice long talk, and it was really awesome to run into some people like that. They were super into it, very friendly. You know, I can only hope to cross paths with them again. Just really made the day right there. You know, running into them and talking to them just really made that day. So, all right, guys, that is it. We're going to wrap it up there. Appreciate you watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. I really appreciate that. That's all for now. You guys know the drill. We'll see you on the next one. Take care.